All right, listen here. How y'all doing? It's the 31st of May, man. This is Carlton Mayhem on behalf of Mayhem Social Media Coalition. Listen, there's a difference between my personal opinion and there's a difference between my professional opinion. As a business owner of Mayhem Social Media Coalition, it's a nonprofit organization in order to help self-love is our best. I mean, it's the best way to put it, because we ain't necessarily directed at one gender of people or one race of people or ethnicity of people. It's about self-love, man. If everybody love themselves, then Mayhem Social Media Coalition has accomplished its goal. And that's our goal, is to help everybody love themselves. It's just that we see it in our society today that certain idiosyncrasies are being used, or certain idiosyncrasies about the people, such as racism and such. Racism is an idiosyncrasy that we've all accepted as okay. And that's just the truth of the matter. And me at Mayhem Social Media Coalition, crossing the line, Mayhem, and saying it's not okay for those to be racist, and it's not okay. So I'm bringing this up for this point. There's this coronavirus going around, and there's this riots behind George Floyd going around. I definitely believe they are racially motivated. How can they not be racially motivated when the media is definitely telling us that a black man was killed and that black people are out rioting and looting? But they calling it two different things. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going having conversations with people and they saying protesting, and then they're calling it rioting and looting. I guess it's the narrative of who you showing doing what to where it's described as what. In Santa Monica, Caucasians, non-blacks is called protesting. Downtown, close to the South Central area, because it's not happening here, so close to the South Central area, when blacks are involved, it's called rioting and looting. That seems to be it. That's an idiosyncrasy. That's unacceptable, man. For you to be able to just tell us that everything that is bad is associated with black people. That is what's called, that's why I believe it's a psychological warfare that's going on in our country and our culture, and it's unacceptable. Here at Mayhem Social Media Coalition, we are saying it's unacceptable. And it's relevant because of what's going on today. There's a narrative being painted about black people out here in Los Angeles, in Minnesota, in Indianapolis, I mean, everywhere, all over the nation, all over the world. There's a narrative being painted about African Americans that is completely untrue. Y'all telling us to our face about our own community. Y'all showing us right now. In our own community, y'all showing us to our faces that y'all telling us things are going on in our community that have us afraid to go out into our community and check to see if these things are really going on, yet we want to trust you and believe that what you're saying, because we don't want to believe that what you're telling us is just a lie. We want to believe in you. But when I went out to the community, I'm not seeing what you're reporting to me on the news. My name is Carlton Mayhem. I'm not seeing what you're reporting to me on the news in my community. So with that being said, I got to wonder, why are you saying these things about me and my people? Because it's offensive to us. It's offensive. It's inhumane for you to paint a narrative about my people that we are bad. The word black is associated with everything bad in our culture. I'm American. My ancestors have definitely been here longer than everybody. Everybody. There's nobody that can say they've been here on this soil, that their ancestors reached back to this soil longer than mine. And I'm telling you, you didn't bring my ancestors here. Everybody's ancestors weren't brought over here by slaves. The Pinta, the Nita, the Santa Marita, whatever they're called, they weren't the ones that brought everybody over here. Some maybe. Some, of course. The first 9, the first 20, George and so, the people that y'all call, 16, 19, they may have brought some. They didn't bring all of us. And I'm telling you, I'm an American. So with that being said, Mayhem Social Media Coalition wants you to understand something. We believe that there's a psychological warfare going on, and it's not the point that somebody's attacking you. The point is more important, your response to that. There was a great man that once said, man, if you allow people to get used to the antidote, if racism offends us, and in the past we've rioted and tore up communities, whoever they were, even if they weren't our businesses, if they've gotten used to that, now to the point where they're painting that own narrative. We don't even need to go out and riot no more. They're just saying what we're doing. They're painting the narrative of what we're doing. So we got to change our response to their hatred, to their bigotry. We have to change our response. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot keep treating this ailment with the same treatment if it's not working, even if it worked once. If it's not working anymore, you have to change the treatment. We need to change the treatment. Here at Mayhem Social Media Coalition, we suggest that we change the treatment. And we have a solution. Our suggested solution. It's not absolutely the answer. But it's our opinion and it's our offer. Black speak, black thought, black action to help make America great for all. We are saying that we should recognize here at Mayhem Media Social Coalition that we should recognize that there's been subterfuge going on. Subterfuge is what's called secret affairs. It's the secret affairs going on. Not good or bad. It's just saying there's stuff going on that you don't completely understand everything that's going on. And that's going on in our community. And I think that's unacceptable because there's narratives being painted by those who are having these subterfuges, secretive agendas. I was downtown a couple of days ago, and it appeared that the riots had started with a police response. It appeared that the riots had already started at 5:30. I don't think there was any reports until at least after dark, right? The next morning, everybody went home. Then they came out the next night after dark. It's like it's only a night riot. I don't understand how I don't understand how anger is contained so easily. You want to call that civilized? Is that what you might want to say? They're civilized, that's why it's contained so easily. If you're civilized about your emotions, you should come up with a different way than violence at all. Violence should never be the solution if you're civilized. There's no such thing as protesting against something that you don't agree with in a violent manner. Taking it to the street, you're violent, period. If you go out and you stop traffic, you're being violent. This is passive aggressiveness, but you're still being violent. So for all those who want to paint the narrative that my skin tone, me being ancestors here in America, me having ancestors that's been here in America since the beginning of America, or any other type of stereotype y'all want to come up with to reason why I'm supposedly the bad sheep in this situation, or my race is supposedly the bad sheep in the situation of America. Whatever narrative y'all want to come up with, I'm telling you it's false. Here at Mayhem Social Media Coalition, we are saying that any narrative that you paint against a broad stroke over Black America is false. Any negative stereotype, any positive. Because we're not allowed to broad stroke anybody else's race. So you got to stop broad stroking our race. It's inhumane. It's not uncivil. It's inhumane to broad stroke a whole race and then treat that whole race according to that broad stroke. Psychological warfare will no longer work with us. You have to bring it to the table because this issue is becoming very inhumane. There are people dying, all behind your stereotypes, all behind things that are not necessarily true. They're definitely not true 100% of my race. 100% of my race has never committed a crime. 100% of my race has never been in the streets. 100% of my race has not done drugs. 100% of my race has not been on welfare. 100% of my race has not been on low income. 100% of my race has not been unemployed their whole life. So how dare you paint that narrative of my people? It is inhumane, and it must come to an end. Mayhem Social Media Coalition. I, Carlton Mayhem, the owner of that, says that the broad stroke, the stereotypes of African Americans, of Americans that are of Black skin tone here in America, the negativity, the broad stroking of it must stop. Because it's dying. People are dying behind it. Senselessly. If there's subterfuge going on, you guys got some other kind of agenda going on with the coronavirus and now this. The Great Depression was in 1929. We went into the Great Depression. We didn't just fall into the Great Depression. They said the stock market crashed, I understand. But we just came up out of World War I. Then we went into the Great Depression. We just came out of war. They had the Spanish flu. World War I, Spanish flu, Great Depression. We just came out of 20-year war, 30-year war, the Middle East. We just had the corona. We're in the coronavirus. 2029 is coming up. Pay attention. Mayhem Social Media Coalition believes in self-thought for the purpose of everybody, the betterment of everybody. Please educate yourself. Please stop allowing yourself to just be misled with a bullshit direction. Man, ain't no other way to say it. You are not who they say you are. You are greater than that. Educate yourself on who you are so that way they can stop telling you who you ain't. Thank you.